Blimey Jenkins, 35 degrees in the workshop. I'm melting. What? You're melting too? No, no, you've had another accident. I told you not to hold out for the ice cream van. Yeah, you'll have to go and see Matron now. Oh, and Jenkins, send her my regards. Oh, look lively, Jenkins, they found us. Hello, welcome to Tweed's Garage, and you found us. Yeah, in that sort of melee of AI slop. Welcome aboard, welcome back to all the regulars. Always good to have you aboard. And welcome aboard to any new people that have found us. Yeah, well done. Getting through all that rubbish that's sort of on AI. Now, this isn't rubbish, this is quality. Yeah, you'll see. Sit tight, don't run away. And you'll be surprised. So yeah, you know what I mean. You sort of, and if you've got a phone, it's even worse because you sort of scroll through the phone and it auto plays if you pause on things, and then it shoves it in your library, and then the bots decide that that's what you like watching, so that then they get rid of your recommended list that you're quite happy with, and give you absolute rubbish. Anyway, that's by the by. You're here now in the garage, safe and sound. So we'll shut the doors and tell you what we're doing in this video. Yeah, we're working on the Scott again. Yeah. What was it, about episode 2, 3? Something like that. Anyway, but we were working on the clutch last time. We are now working on the gearbox. Had a bit of mission creep. I said there would be, but yeah, having seen the clutch, I thought I'd go in the gearbox. So we're digging into that. Yeah, we're going in from the bottom.
Saucy.
Here, mate, watch it.
I'm sorry.
This way. No, that way. Okay, so work on the clutch is going to continue. If you didn't see the last video, I want to get this back plate off. Got to get this nut undone. Need to sort of either find a socket or make a socket to undo that. And then the manual says you can sort of take the internals out from the gearbox here to check the gearbox out, but as you can see, it's all pretty crammed in here. I haven't got a lot of space, and I've been sitting here looking at it, and I think there's more ways than one to skin a cat, because what we've got is this aluminium under tray, which at first looks like it's part of the engine casting. When you look underneath, let's take it underneath, you can see here it's bolted between the two sides of the engine block. So sort of up here, you know, here, and then the other side there, so it sits in between as a bit of a spacer, because the earlier bikes, what tended to happen was when these were done up, they didn't have a spacer in between, and it used to it could crack the ears off of the case. So yeah, they use this as a bit of a spacer. So what I'm going to do, I've been soaking these, undo these. Well, actually I've loosened this one off, look, it's coming down quite nicely. Now I thought these frame lugs were welded onto the frame, but it turns out, I don't know if you can see, they're actually a two-part clamping system, so it allows for any discrepancies in the casting, you know, where this will sit. But also, because these now come off the frame and are not attached to the frame, I can deal with another problem. Let's do it up a bit, which was the rear brake rod. When the brake rod's in there, it's quite a lot of play. It doesn't seem so much now, but yeah, when you get it there, look, it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things once it's got grease in and that. But yeah, it'd be annoying if it sits there rattling away all the time. So because these come off, what it gives us the chance to do is take them to the workshop, maybe weld the holes up a bit, re-machine them, ream them to size. Yeah, it could do with a new brake rod as well. I don't know what's been going on there. Looks like something, tyre's been getting hungry on the back of it or something. You know, doesn't matter too much, but yeah, there's wear there where it sits there in that clamp. So yeah, might address that problem, make a new brake shaft, and then tidy these holes up on these clamps, which we now know, come off, which is handy, Harry. Yeah, so with the advantage that these come off, I'll be able to take them to the workshop and try and address this oval hole, maybe weld it up, remachine it, but then also check out this hole, see if it has a thread in it, or whether it's just an oiling hole. If it's just an oiling hole, I'll sort of drill it and tap it and put one of those new grease nipples in I've got on both sides, that one and the one on the other side, because it will be better to squirt grease in there than having an open oil hole for all the grip to go in. You know, that's probably why it's worn as bad as it has, or it just hasn't had any oil put on it. Anyway, so yeah, we take this one off, that one off, loosen it here on the foot pegs and the other side, which should release the pressure in the centre of the engine, and then should just be able to drop this under tray down, allowing the gearbox to sort of tilt and slide, and because this bracket will move out of the way, move the kickstart slightly, it should all sort of fall out this way, down the bottom and out. We can get it out as a unit. So that's the plan. So what we'll do first is remove this plate that supports the gear change lever assembly. I think we need to move this as well. Hang on a minute. Little tap. Right, does that allow us? Yeah, we can drop that out of the way now. Right, that's the pedal dropped out of the way. I'm doing one at a time because these are the case bolts. Okay. Right, a little bit less to squeeze through the gap. Okay, I think you've got a good view there. I'm going to take that off. I'm not sure whether they're threaded through or just push through. Let's give them a little, just push through. Clamp. Slides out quite nicely. Yeah, that other one will drop out. There's the other side, the clamp there. So we've undone that end. So if I undo this, give this a tap through. Outer bracket. I need something to tie it up out of the way really, so it doesn't drop when I drop the pan down. There we go, put a cargo strap through it, support it on the magneto frame. Yeah, that's it, that's got it. Right, we should be free. The gearbox was holding it, and also these inner clamps which I've knocked out. There we go, just like that. Now we can get the adjuster, which was one job we wanted to do, and then do this out the way. It's got plenty of little knocks on the frame on the paintwork, so we're going to have to go over with a black paint anyway. Twist that like that, drop it down. Clutch cable. Right, we're down. Okay. Clutch cable off. Gearbox out. And we can clean this out as well. Oh look. Found a missing nut from somewhere. I'll just put these back together with their associated hardware so we don't mix them up. He says that, but he's mixed them up anyway. You can't mix them up. Look. Yeah, what a nice little clamp they are. Okay. Outside nut. Inside clamp. Washer. Round the right way. Yes, there's a right way and a wrong way. I'll start an argument now. So here's a washer, but it only goes on one way. So your flat face goes against what you're clamping, and then the chamfered face goes on the outside, so that way round. So you get a nice sharp flat clamping surface, and then a nice chamfered edge on the outside to look at. Right, there we go. Now here's an interesting thing. This is the adjusting bolt for the gearbox, and when I looked at it I thought it was bent. Well, it is bent. Look, it's all over the shop. But it's meant to be, because when you pop it in there like that, that's off to an angle. So it needs to be bent to get it over there to hook round one of the gearbox mounting studs. We'll just give it a clean then. We won't stick it in a vise and straighten it up. Cause us all sorts of problems. There you go, that's a bit easier than trying to squeeze around the side of the Scott to work on it. Gearbox in the vise. We can get all the way around it. Yeah, one thing we have discovered, it hasn't got oil in it. It's oily, but it hasn't had oil in it. So that might explain why it's very difficult to select gears on it. This is the selector here, but yeah, it's quite hard to move. So that needs looking at. It needs to come apart because it's got that horrible blue gasket, liquid gasket sealer. We can do better than that. There's not a bolt there or a bolt down here. They're locating studs. So, and one down there as well. So you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 securing bolts, and should come apart. Need to get the kickstart mechanism off. So I've got to undo these springs, get that off. There's another spring behind. Yeah, so it's all external to the gearbox. That's the there you go, you see it there. That's the kickstart pawl there. This is the spring that holds it to lock it in. Apparently sometimes what can happen if engine kicks back, this pawl can jump outside this spring, bit of a safety mechanism, and you have to sort of flick it out and pop it back in again. Yeah, so there's that one to sort out. We need to disconnect this. I think we undo this screw. I think this might slide off. Looks like there's another little spring in there. Something going on. Anyway, kickstart's all external. Need to take this off. Or do we? Anyway, I'll get the book and have a look. So, yeah, let's have a look in the gearbox. There you go. It all looks pretty good from the top here. Yeah, gears look very nice. So, and the selector dogs look good. But yeah, might take it apart, just check it out, and reseal this. Pop this back together. Yeah, might need to look at this. I think that ball there that goes in these indents here, and they're quite deep, you see, and it really doesn't want to pop out of that one. I think that's what's holding it. But we can check that. We can sort of disconnect this, take this plate off, and then just try and select the gear without the indents and see how it moves. This is the back of the clutch here. So this is your clutch cable. Pulls this, and it's on a helix. So it moves out towards the outside of the clutch. Pushes this thrust bearing there, and then there's a hardened ring on the other side. And then that pushes these pins that I took out. They rest on that hardened ring, so that when that ring moves that way, pushes these that way, these are screwed into this outer plate. So because they're being pushed that way, they lift the plate against the springs, and that releases your clutch. And then when you let the clutch lever off, it all comes back together because it's got the springs pushing it back in again. So yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, would like to take that bearing out there, give it a clean, give it a grease. Looks like it's all captive, I think, famous last words, but yeah, we'll be careful with that. Spring could do with a little bit of tweaking on the eye at the end, and then we'll have a look at this clutch cable, whether it's better to make a ferrule to go in there and then something to go in here with a hole in it similar to this to take the other end of the clutch cable. So the clutch cable goes this way, and when you pull the clutch, it's the sleeve that moves that along. So we're ready to go. Got the manual here. There's a nice breakdown picture of the gearbox, and then we have instructions how to dismantle the gearbox. So I shall work through this and work my way around. You can watch. Yeah, see how we get on. First remove this screw. I have loosened it with the impact wrench. And this should take this cover off. Let's turn it that way as far as we can. So that'll, oh, that unwinds it. Now, allegedly, this is a left-hand thread. Sure is. Oh, I just wind it that way. Keep it on the peg. Okay, that's that. What size is that? Oh, that size. 3/16 Whitworth. Clutch whilst you're doing it, otherwise you won't get it undone. Okay, that undoes like that. Oh, something's happening here. I've just lifted the kickstart spring on the pawl, and it's coming off. What I need to do is just try and move it up and out of the way to take the pressure off of the pawl. Maybe just stick it towards the back. There we go. It's taken the pressure off. There we go. Oh. So, spring, like a hairspring, round there, rests on this pawl here, there, and it pushes it in to engage with the kickstart ratchet gear just there. There's a slot behind there, and we should be able to put a screwdriver in here behind. Oh, look at that. Dead easy, isn't it, when you know how? And then that'll come out. I don't think that moved before because it had the spring pressure and the pawl resting on it. There we go. Yucky yuck yuck. Right, put that over there. See what I mean by the second tray? Forks, clutch and gearbox. Right, now we remove the remaining 3 bolts, but I've got, oh yeah, these must have been taken off earlier when I wasn't reading. Oh, hello, got one. Oh, I see, they've got studs and sleeve nuts. That didn't come out with the stud. Ooh. Oh, that's the level plug. Okay. And then now it says tap around. Where's my dead blow hammer? Yep, we've got a gap. Got a gap. Got any oil? No, not yet. So So I'm supporting it at the bottom, so it's sort of pulling that way, and then hitting from the top, so it's pushing it that way, and trying to sort of cancel each other out so it comes out straight. Like that. Yeah, blue goop. That's coming off. Okay, now allegedly these two shafts should come out. It's on about a third. Possible withdraw the same time, middle and low gear wheel assembly, and also the main shaft. Yeah, I can only see two. I can only see two. Oh, that's definitely out. It's not going to come past the selector fork though, that one. I reckon you might have to take the, yeah. I think this selector's got to come off. You're not going to get it past this selector fork. Okay, well we're nearly out. Yeah, this must be slightly later gearbox. Well, this is 1930, the drawing I've got. And yeah, my sort of oh no, it's looking from the top. Or is it? No, it's all a bit weird because the selector fork for mine comes down from the top like that. But this shaft isn't underneath it, so not quite sure. But I think we need to remove this assembly. You can't see, it's a little bit high. Let's move you out. Yeah, so I think this gear selector shaft needs to come out so you can drop the fork out that I can see and you can't in here. Drop that down and then these should move out. Right, we'll find out about that ball bearing and that plate now, won't we? Oh, loosey. Yeah, catch the ball bearing down the bottom. You're seeing all this action. Hot gearbox, springy ball action. Gotcha. That spring seems awfully powerful for that. Okay. There's a nut on the other end here going round, but doesn't seem to be attached to anything. Well, it does. Ah, okay. Well, it's a two-pronged thingy. There's one the other side. If we go this way, fork drops down. There you go. See, that's what I was on about. I think that's just, oh, that's part of it. Okay. Slip that back in there. What do I do with the nut? Keep it together. And the fork drops out. Right. Okay, this comes out. All exciting stuff. Not with the shaft though. Right, let's get rid of this selector fork, but don't drop the bits on the floor. Okay, that doesn't want to pull through there. I'm not going to go nuts because it might be burred over on the other end. It will need stoning, this one, where the clutch runs on the splines the other side. But yeah, there's two of our gears. I'll be lying if I knew which ones they were. And then our selector dog there slides backwards and forwards and seems to be captive. Oh, I see. Yeah, like that. I'll just pick up the other bit that fell off the selector. That bit. They're hardened, so we don't want to lose them. Oh, for God's sake. Jenkins. And then this shaft comes out as well. But the gears they look like new. Maybe a tiny little bit of burring on the ends on that one. But yeah, so not sure which way around it is. Either first, second and third, or first, second and third. That was definitely second. And there we go. Not too bad in there. Do a bit of a clean. Yeah, I think that will come up quite nicely. But I think our main issue with the selecting was one, there's no oil in it, silly me, and two, I just think the spring pressure on the ball bearing in there, you look there, can you see? That drops in quite a way, that's quite a step up. You know, it's almost not halfway, but I don't think that it needs to be that deep, or this ball's too small. Yeah, so that needs looking at. I'll look in the parts book and it might tell me what diameter that's meant to be, and yeah, drop it on the floor. But as you know, I've got loads of spare balls, we'll be alright. Okay, so I've spun the gearbox around so we can work on the other side. So I need to get this nut off, so I'll get this plate off and clean and check things behind. I think I am missing a couple of ball bearings out of the race behind there. But what I'm going to do, I need a tool to, well, the first thing is, now I've got the gearbox apart, I can push that shaft into there and get a standard socket on there. So going to do that, but I'm going to reuse this plate that I made for working out my hole drillings. So when that goes on like that, all I need to do is bore a hole in the middle for the socket to fit through, like that. And then on the bad holes, stick a couple of bolts through, one way or the other, doesn't matter too much, like that, like that. And then either a bit of angle iron or something, drill it and bolt it to this, and I can pop this on this, hold that, turn that. So we'll make a tool out of this, so not wasted material. The only tragedy we've discovered is, let's see if you can see this under good light, this is the this is the indent arm for the gear change, so it goes on the outside of the gearbox, goes through onto the selector arm like that, like that, you see, twisty twisty, no trouble at all. Unfortunately it's hardened, can you see, it's cracked right through there on that side, and on the other side it's even worse, it's cracked around there and then up around there like that, and it runs right through, don't know if you can see, to the inside as well. So this one's sort of, this side is sort of just hanging on. If you wiggle it you can sort of see it moving. Under the old magnifier you can see the damage a bit better, see that crack running through there, that side. And on the other side runs from about, yeah, from there round to there. Unfortunately this one's also cracked from there to there. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, so problem to be solved. So I'm going to reach out to the Scott Facebook page, see if anybody has a spare one kicking around. If not, not all is lost. I mean, some will suck teeth on that because it's hardened. I think really it needs to be hardened here rather than here, because this is a running surface. But we'll have to do this side in 2 halves. This side we can do in 1 half, but just grind that crack out and weld it up, and then the same on this side. We'll have to do one side first, or at least tack it on the outside edge each side, hold it in place, and then grind one side out, weld it, and then grind the other side out and weld that back in, file it and grind it back down to shape. Yeah, so, but we've done it before. I can't remember what on. We've done so much stuff. May have been the Excelsior engine. I'm sure we sort of welded something back together in that. Anyway, moving on, let's go and bore a hole in this, turn this into a tool, and get this nut off. So behold, the what was a one-use tool for the transit now becomes a multi transit Scott tool. Let's see if it'll work. Let's pop that on there, like that. He says like that. That's it. So that should fit like about there. It's close enough. There we go. Look at, is that coming? Is that going round? Yeah. It's just jumping for some reason. Yeah, that's coming undone. I don't know why it's there's no tab washer there. I'll probably find a tab washer somewhere. Anyway, it is working. Just seeing if it was the socket wrench. That one's a bit beaten up. There we go. That is off. Nut off. Oh, that's why it was. Look, they've somebody's. I don't know how they got in. Oh, I must have chiselled it. They sort of chiselled it on the side there. So that's what was biting in. Anyway, that is off. Put in the pile of gearbox bits on the tray, and then gently remove this. Put me in. No shower of bearings, and there we go. And there's the other bearing. Yeah, I thought it was. It's missing 1, 2, 3 bearings out of it, and then that's that hardened ring that pushes against those threaded dowels, or whatever you want to call them. Clutch actuators come through there and then rest on there, and that pushes them through. Well, that's the result. We've got that undone. Okay, I think that'll all come out. There we go. That's it. Lovely. Now this won't draw out of here. It's catching somewhere. Yeah, down this end here. Probably where the clutch has been running on it. It's sort of wasted away a bit there. But to be honest with you, I'm quite happy with it staying like that. I have stoned the ends of it, but it's probably splayed out a little bit. But we'll leave it well alone because all the other surfaces are good. The bearing surfaces are fine. So yeah, all good. And then that's our little clutch mechanism. bigger version of what's on the Bantam. Oh, don't know how you get it off though. Oh, well, we'll leave well alone. There's a sharp edge on there. Something's been running on there. What's been running on there? I think that ring's been running around there at some time. It's okay there. The only thing that would allow that to pop out is sort of not adjusting these properly, so that they sort of obviously want a little bit of clearance, but not enough that this sort of falls off of there and then runs around there like that. We can have a look. Somebody on the Scott Facebook page has found a modern bearing that is rollers rather than balls, sort of more of a modern bearing race, and it works out roughly about the same diameter as this, roughly about the same width as this lot. And I've just lost one of the balls. There it is. What size is that? 3/16. Hey, 3/16. Over ordering bearings wins again. Right, I think, yeah, need to clean that face up, grind that off. That's very sharp and not very nice. With decent bearings in there and adjusted properly, that shouldn't drop down like that. So, yeah, I mean the track's still okay. So that's still alright. This race is okay. Yeah, the balls are a bit scored up. That race looks okay. So really it shouldn't, if it's adjusted right, it shouldn't really wander off too much. Yeah, but we need to decrud this, definitely. It's a mystery how they got that on there. Must come off. Oh well, onwards and upwards. Right, let's see if we can ease this selector off. There we go. There we go. Like that. And then that should come off there. Just remember its position. Yeah, we've got a locating lug top and bottom, there and there, which locate there and there. And there, that'll just allow me to knock this rather nasty burr off the end of this and tidy it up a bit. Yeah, you can see where the maybe balls have been running around on it, or like I said, the outer hard race. But yeah, need to get that all back in there afterwards. That'll be another good job done. But it wasn't all the way home, so we may put a couple of blobs of Loctite on it when we put it back on to stop it being dragged this way. It shouldn't be though. it shouldn't be dragged this way, you know, unless, you know, the force of this snapping back and hitting the case has gradually moved it out. But anyway, we should be able to take that scroll off of there like that and give that all a good clean and a grease and pop it back together. Just remember that goes up near the top, not there. Next one along. Yeah, about there. That's it. That was there, that was there. Like that. Yep. So there you go, progress on the Scott. Managed to get the gearbox out, get it apart, ready to go through it and replace what needs replacing, repair what needs repairing. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give us a little like, and even more importantly, subscribe. Not only to help the channel out, but also to hopefully find us again. All right, so see you next time. Yeah, I'm off for a date with Matron. Cheerio. You've had another accident. You are for the ice cream machine. Ice cream machine. Hello and welcome to Tweed's Garage. Oh, forgot what I was going to say. You know, one of these AI generated. Oh, Jenkins, they found us.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.